Mhm. Alright. So just a quick iteration. So what we were trying to achieve is, let's say you have a round based off of each entry term. Let's say for you have a round for each entry term like fall 26, spring 26, and fall 27, and so on and so forth. And you have your entity with your um, open dates and deadline dates for each um, program. So based on your round and your term in your program dates entity and these dates, the goal is to have those majors visible in this list. So what we'll do is we'll take computer science. We haven't created a program. So let's yeah, get programs. Okay, currently we have only three programs in the instance. Um, in not in the instance in the graduate programs data set. Yeah. We'll go ahead and create one for computer science. Um, we'll do engineering program name is computer science. Um, CIENCE, right? Um, okay, degree type, computer science. Um, Currently, the way we are matching things is we are. Uh, I'll walk you through. But degree type is nothing but the prompt that is coming from the app scope major prompt, and degree type is same. But I will show you in your instance if you're using key, the dataset key as a prompt grid, then you can also do that. All right, we'll do in person, or I think this will be multiple in person online. Duration is 2 years. Enrollment option both full time and part time. Those two should be an options. Um, yeah. Okay. Personal essay is required with minimum of three letter of recommendations, and we accept GRE or GMAT, and then English language requirement is essential. And yes, we do accept these three and submit it. Well, let's go ahead and see. Open computer science. All right, let's go to details tab. What we'll do is currently we have fall 26 as a term. The app opens on September 15th for now. Let's assume this is the day that date that our app opens and closes on February 1st of 2026, and deposit deadline is May 1st. Perfect. All right, now that we have computer science in here, we have a test record Spence Abels. So let's reload, and we have computer science up here. Now we want this to be controlled based off of the dates that are in program dates entity. All right, let's go ahead to our application form. Here it is. Okay. In the last video, we were struggling with the logic. So what we started with is we started with a join, base join, which had an independent subquery, and then it was pulling all that in. Since the f- since the initial base of this form is form as a base table, and it was trying to join with an existing column in form table with an independent query, it wasn't working out. So I was able to find a way out. Um, what we'll do is first we'll join this to application, and then our rounds has an export value of fall 26. So each round, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to match the round name with literally with the term value of program dates entity. All right. So since we have that in export value, we will go ahead and look up round, and we'll try to use the export value 5 under round settings configurations to match the term. All right. Now that we have round, what we'll do is we'll start a subquery. We'll create an independent query. We'll pull all the graduate programs from the list. Since computer science has a degree type computer science, okay, I'm going to use this. If not, what you could do is you could also use key. Obviously, in here I'm not adding any key. Maybe I can go ahead and add the key as well. So what you would do is whenever you create program data sets based on the configuration that was mentioned in this specific get inspired post, we're kind of bringing back those prompts and putting them as keys on for each program data set. If you did not get what I was saying, I would encourage you to go and see the first video. Um, maybe second video, should I guess? Yeah, one other. Yeah, yeah. We did discuss both on first and second one. So, picture, yeah, file account. Okay. All right, perfect. So if you have one program, one unique prompt, and one unique data set for each of your program, I would ask you to go with key, or maybe, or you can also do something similar to degree type, right? This gives you more like an um, select option in your querying. But if you go with the key, you would have to copy the key and update it for each every prompt inside the major field. Right? Back again in manually rather than but yeah, like I said, like Shirdi mentioned in the post, it it is mentioned that you can automatically have the system pull informations in both places. Um, Not both places. From what it will do is it'll flush the data from dataset into prompts. It will once the prompts are created, those prompts IDs are updated onto the dataset record using a rule. All right. So coming back to our form, like we obviously joined application and then lookup application, and we started with another subquery filter. Then subquery filter, we started using independent subquery graduate programs, which is our data set. And then we said to look only for the record which matches our prompt. I closed it. Our programs. And then degree type is computer science here. You can use this, or you can say key equal to this whole key. You can copy and paste this whole key. All right, for now, I'm going to avoid that. All right, once we know we are pulling in computer science major alone, now we want to pull in the information of each entity row based on the round that student is applying or start or the application is matching to. So we'll go ahead and create another subquery join. All right, and then here we'll join it to our programs entity, program dates entity, and within programs entity we want the terms to match the uh, date term, and then within round export value. So in our configuration, these two fields will have same values between round and the term. We could do either comparison, match, round, and what's that? Term in entity. Okay, app round, match, app round, and term in entity. Right. Once these two matches, it will bring the what's first row. Let's say if you have accidentally if you have two rows for fall 26, let's say you have one for March 1st for 2025 and then something else for the same program. Um, this might pull, I think, the latest one by default. So you might want to latest one that was inserted, I guess. So you might want to avoid having multiple duplicate terms in this entity as much as possible. All right, now that we are bringing program dates, program dates is an entity. Perfect. So all we will have to do is, yeah, and all we will have to do is now look at, no, just add the filters. So open date has to be less than or equal to today, and then deadline date has to be greater than or equal to today. All right, so this belongs to computer science. Perfect. And and that's all we need. Yeah. Um, major is, oh man, that would be my name. Obviously, it's up to you. Um, you can add whatever you feel and you would like. So if you see there are other logics, it's pretty much same. Pretty much it's same on the other ones. We were testing a lot after our previous video, so we were finally able to get it working. All right, if I refresh now, um, computer science is still an option because computer science has opened in September 15th. Let's say if I push this day to October 15th, um, it's uh, computer science is not an option anymore in the list. All right, just to do an accurate testing, let's assume today is September 24th, right? So we'll do September, we'll select September 24th as an open date, and we'll see if it's open. It's open, right? And let's say if the open date is tomorrow and today is 24th, the application should not have been, should not be an option in the form. Yeah, it's not an option, right? Yeah, one downside with this route is, let's say if you have, huh, the other downside is with this, let's say upon selection you want to display all the checklist items that are required um for this finance major. Let's say you want to do an instructional text. um it's tricky to do it. One good route is you could probably build a query um and have JavaScript upon every change. So what you would do is you would have a JavaScript that upon every change of this measure, um, you would have your JavaScript go and fetch data from a JSON endpoint, and then you could have it styled or have it appeared up here, right? I can show you. I can show you this today, provided we have time at the end. Um, but we'll go ahead and go back to our post. Um, I think we covered dynamically showing the programs. In this post, Amanda did do a good job in and also trying to find a way to show if, let's say, student selects a program and it's not a valid program anymore. Um, yeah, there's another page that opens up post selection, and then we would say, sorry, your program isn't an option for you at this time, right? You can obviously do that using um, the merge fields within the form properties and display the data. One thing we would like to cover is checklist automation. So it's very easy to do it, especially if you're a configurable joins pro user. Um, we can quickly build a we can quickly build a checklist group, and then we'll see if it works or not. Okay. All right. For computer science, let's say if uh, Spensables has selected computer science, it's not an option. Let's go ahead and move this to 23rd. Refresh this, computer science, and then I have fall 26, continue. All right. Now that Spence major is computer science, and we'll go and see the checklist. So let's say for computer science, we need GRE or GMAT, right? We need at least one of the test scores. We'll go ahead and configure our checklist. Checklist. Okay. We don't have any checklist. We'll do GRE or GMAT as a checklist. And then material fulfillment. We don't have any material fulfillment. We'll go ahead and create the material first. Insert GRE, GR, GRE or GMAT. GRE or GMAT. Let's go. Right. And then insert. We'll create this as a group, GRE, GRE, GMAT. Or you could call, obviously, you could either call it as analytical test score, GRE, GMAT test score. Material fulfillment is GRE test score. We need a PDF document. Obviously, if you have any test configured, you could also use that if someone has a verified test score. checklist will automatically update it to received. All right, now that we have transcript, so if we go to our test record, uh, we can manually add this checklist as effective date, and then we could do that. Or we want rules to automatically add it as a group. Um, so let's go ahead and add the rule. We don't have checklist. Add GRE GMAT checklist. Base application, rule type application checklist, and then trigger upon deferred folder checklist, exclusivity group, none. Um, um, we'll put it in previous mode. All right, the first step we'll do is we'll go ahead. Um, so we have computer science here, right? And we also have it's referencing dataset. Um, so we will obviously join this to major graduate programs dataset, and from dataset we'll find if GRE or GMAT is required for this program. If at least one of them is required for this program, right? So we have the group. We'll join this to selected graduate program dataset up here, and then we'll see if no, what is the field name for that? What is the field name for analytical required standardized test scores? So yeah, standardized test. If GRE or GMAT exists, one of them, we want either you could do the G material alone, but my recommendation if you're using checklist, I would do group. The reason I would do always insist group is if let's say student changes their major and GRE GMAT is not a requirement for that major, the checklist would drop if it's a group. The whole group gets dropped. If you add it as a if you add it as a like a material checklist, it won't get removed automatically. You would have to either run a rule to remove it, or um, you would have to manually delete it, or you have to do some kind of retention policy to delete it. So the best advice, yeah. So I would encourage to use checklist group. All right. Once you do this, currently in here it says 0. Why? Why? Come on, Spence. 26 request analyze GRE GMAT. Oh, oh yeah. So currently we have data set of 29F47. Oh, I think this is not being changed, Shirdi. Chemistry, computer science. Okay, let's go ahead and fix our custom tab. Yeah, we have key, right? I think we do have key for 12FDE. So I think that should match. Okay. Once we have it, hit save. Let's see now. It's working now. I think the key wasn't updated properly. Hit save. But that is weird though. Let's do some testing. Yeah, but that should update actually. So let's say you go in here, program information. Okay, 12 FP, 12 FTE. Okay, let's go ahead and remove in here everything. Even here, hit save, refresh. Okay, I think the page itself is not. This is, it should be key. That is why on this page. Refresh, computer science, continue. And if you come here, it's in there. Perfect. So let's go to our rules, checklist. It's well, okay. Save it, and then we will force refresh and see. Here we have one checklist up here. Perfect. We have this group added. All right, that is it, I guess, at this point. So we were successfully able to dynamically show programs on the forms, on the application form, easy to add checklist. But like we discussed in video one, if there are programs, one or two programs who which has a weird checklist, just one or two programs, I would not go with the dataset route because you're adding a rule and having that rule check for all the programs. Rather, I would just add a filter straight away, program and so and knock it off. Okay, I know, but either way, I think either way, the rule gets run on every application to see if falls in the population. That's a good one. Actually, I don't know how much time it takes if since we are joining it to dataset and dataset custom fields, will it work faster compared to the custom fields of app scope directly? I'm not sure. That is something I'm eager to know about though. All right. Should you have any comments? Anything else that you would like to go over? Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, I think we did bring up a good point. So now that we added for computer science, um, we would need to, we would need to have this logic be on every other prompt. So let's say I would do this. I would obviously add for the first one, edit, select, save it, and then I would go into creative writing and then just update this one filter. That's it. You would have to do that for every every prompt in this field. Um, if you have 300 programs, I'm sorry. But if you do it once, it's easier for to control in the back end on the dataset side. For batch importing purposes for every down the road, let's say you want to add fall 25 open dates from an Excel sheet, right? Uh, for this entity, I would create an external ID. Um, so for every entity row in here, I would add what I would do is I would um, grab the maybe some sort of college code if you are using an SIS. Every SIS needs a code, right? Something like as a MSCS. What I would do is I would grab that code. Let me show you. Where is the widget? Oh, yeah, external ID. So I would do external ID for you to batch import it down the road. This would be a combination of, let's say, if you have a term, right? So I would keep this external ID as MSCS, okay, and then fall 26. So this way, when you import back in with the grid ID and then with this one, you can import your open dates or update your open dates in batch using Excel sheet right away if you have an external ID. Else, if you don't have this external ID in an entity, it's always a tough job for you to, grab the ID and batch import them or batch update them using Excel sheets. So yeah, have an external ID whenever you have an entity. Mhm. If you want this to be, let's say, if you don't want this to have the user have the user not to type it, you could obviously use formulas in the form. Say, copy this, export key, and then calculation formula, and then let's say if you have merge fields, let's do merge field graduate programs, and from graduate programs we'll do lookup. No, oh, I can't go to the entity. That's weird. No, not the term shady. I'm trying to go to, yeah, maybe at least the key, right? I think graduate programs, maybe. Okay, that's the data set. Perfect. So we have key in here. The key, say what we'll do is key, right? This appends both text, and whenever you start typing in, it is bringing in the key, and whenever you select a prompt, and oh, yeah, there you go. No, we'll do a new one, undefined. Okay, there you go. All right. You want to make sure there's no it's not undefined. All right. That's it. We will wrap this up, this thing. Maybe we'll open it after, we will come back to this thing after huge developments or major developments, or if someone has a really a great question about this idea, we could probably evolve it. With this, we'll wrap this up. Idea, get inspired post, and then move to the next one. Programs. Yeah, I wish, man. I wish they would have an option to go. I wish they would give us um the logic, right? Which um it will fetch from database upon every change within the state rather than using an external JavaScript. I wish they build that. Yeah. So similar to portals, right? Similar to portals, what you would do is you would pass query string parameters, right? So within to this prompts or to this prompt logic or field logic, we would pass those. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There we would need to pass it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, could be, or maybe it's very too high level for someone to understand. Yeah. Adios.